let it burn you to sleep, and bring you closer to the danger, and wherever in retreat, sing your sad soul to sleep. I love you the first time I saw you.
Hi, my name is Kayla Silverman. I am a rising senior at Weston High School, and I am a classical and also a contemporary vocalist. I didn't really expect that I was going to really go into the music industry. My story was basically I listened to Susan Boyle, and this is Susan Boyle who is at America's Got Talent, and she definitely inspired me for her I Dream a Dream, and so she sang that song, and then I sang it as well, and I was like, hey, that's not too bad, and so I started doing singing lessons, and that was my first song that I ever sang live to people.
I dreamed a dream in time of life.
So as a kid, other than listening to Susan Boyle, I remember in my old house there was this radio, and it was built into my wall, and I would just sit there almost every single day, every single morning, and I would play all of these records, and my mom would have this headset that also kind of that went like this. You would talk into it, and so she would have this headset that she would talk into, and I would listen to them, and the headset wasn't even turned on, but I would pretend like I was recording into this little microphone headset.
They like cars, and I'm singing and healing.
Mm-hmm. I'm Rick Poulin. I'm one of the senior producers here at Bristol Studios. So I don't actually exactly remember when she started, because people don't always start working with me directly. They come in and they get into the program. And then as they start to excel, they kind of come under my radar, and then I decide, is this someone that I think I can really help move forward in their career? So she got into the program, I'm pretty sure in the voice program, but then she's just done, recording, voice, performance, songwriting, all the engineering courses at a very young age. She's just really poised to do really well.
I have the classical side, and I also have the contemporary side. For my classical, I am completely influenced by Renee Flemings and Kiri Takayama. They're both amazing classical sopranos. But then also, I love, as growing up, I loved Susan Boyle, and then I loved Whitney Houston and all these other big female divas. And they had such these big voices, but also the things they were saying. So also like Adele, who had this emotion, and I was really drawn to that. I have 5 lessons a week, either being classical or pop. So I have 3 lessons in classical, and I have 2 lessons in pop. But for pop, each lesson is 2 hours. So I have 4 hours there, and then 3 hours of classical. So that's 7 hours a week. But then I'm also by myself, and I'm always listening to music and trying to look at the music and trying to really increase what I'm doing. But then also I'm writing songs, so it's a lot of time. When I started singing, everyone was like, you know what, singing is really hard. Like, you should be a dentist. My grandparents wanted me to be a dentist. That was it. They would be like, you could do community theater, but that's not, community theater is great, and I have actually been in a few of those, but I want to make it a real career. So it's definitely taken my friends and my family to really get on board.
Saw you in the hall today, left with her in the usual way. How come you never see that you slowly slowly killing me.
I have a concept, I have an idea. So, for example, my song that I wrote, On the Outside Looking In. So I thought of it, I took that concept of a crush, of someone looking at someone else and saying, oh, they'll never like me, and I took that from my real life, and I wanted to, I used its realness and its raw emotion, but I also exaggerated a little bit, because that's what art is. It's taking something real and then also making something kind of surreal about it.
That you never notice me. I'm on the outside looking in.
But also I wanted real raw emotion. I think that's also what a lot of music is missing right now. I just want to have the emotional connection between humans and music. And so I get a concept, and then I work with a sound engineer, or I start the project by myself, and I really try to capture what it feels like, the various sounds of the chords, the various music, the various instruments, to try to really capture the emotion that I'm feeling. Yeah, I've collaborated with a lot of other people. At Bristol, I've collaborated with 3 people so far. One of them I did an original song, On the Outside Looking In, and then I did 2 cover songs with this girl named Claire and this guy named Tristan. And they were all very, very different, and very different backgrounds and where they're coming from, but it was really cool to work with someone who really loves music just as much as I do, but are also really good people too, because all of them were just so nice and down to earth.
I really can't stay.
Baby, it's cold outside.
I've got to go away.
But baby, it's cold outside.
This evening has been
Hoping that you drop
so
in.
very nice.
I'll hold your hands, they're just like
My mother
ice.
will start to
Beautiful.
worry. Send this to the table, a party of one, the only other lonely soul in this place. And so you're finishing up your coffee, where you gonna run? Where'd you get that look on your face?
You should always let the sun go down on your anger. Let it burn you.
And it's persistence, you know. There's one key thing that we're always talking about here, and I just heard this president of Capitol Records and Atlantic Records, this guy Jason Flom, sum it up 2 days ago as I was driving in. And he said something that I say all the time, but he said it better. He said this business is a combination of 4 things. People think you need a lucky break. And he said, nope, it is preparation, skill, persistence, and those things equal luck. Magic happens when we get a person to the level they need to be, doors open and walls that didn't exist. And so Kayla is working toward that. Yes, we want to get her there.
I just recently had the pleasure of performing at BBYO, the International Convention. It is a Jewish convention where all 6,000 kids from all over the globe come together in this one space, and they do activities and they meet each other, and it's really, really cool. And so I performed there 2 times, and it was in front of all 6,000 people in this arena. So it was my biggest crowd I've ever been to, and it was the most fun I've ever had. It was actually also the easiest because I couldn't see anyone. I could only see lights, and so it wasn't like I was looking at someone's face and I could say that I'm singing to them. I was just looking at lights, and I was able to really focus on the performance and like what I was doing. My whole thing is why I do classical and I do contemporary music is, one, because it teaches me technique and it teaches me all of the history of music and I'm not reinventing the wheel, but also classical music has it kind of has my heart, if that makes any sense. It has the emotions, especially the romantic period. It just has this such depth to it, and I love that emotion too. I love it, and it speaks to me, and I want to be able to bring that human emotion to electronic music, to pop music, and be able to use the waves used from a computer to really touch people, to really feel genuine emotion through an electrical medium, which I think will be hard to do, but I really want to study that more and connect people with emotions instead of just sounds. Basically, I do this thing called ABRSM, which is this singing, English affiliated singing test. And so I've reached the top of that. And so I was like, what am I going to do with my time? And so I started doing international vocal competitions where I send out my recordings and my performances, and they respond whether or not I get it or not. They respond. And this one I won first place actually at Carnegie Hall with a company called American Protege. And so this one was just for pop. And so I was there with 40 other kids. Half of them were vocalists and half of them were pianists, and there's like a few flutists. And we all got ranks, but we didn't know which ranks we were until we performed. So I performed at Carnegie Hall, and that was really, really cool because I was with all these other kids that are exactly like me. Not exactly like me, but they had the same exact passions. These kids had very similar aspirations and were at all the various passions that I would like. So I was able to talk with them, but then also there was just all these backstage stuff. So people were warming up, people were doing sound checks. There were people kind of running you around and saying, go here, hold this microphone, do this. And it was like, wow, I'm at Carnegie Hall. But then I walked up on stage and it was huge and I felt really, really small. And so I just needed to just kind of go, I'll be okay. And so I started singing, and it was really cool. Unfortunately, I didn't get the acoustic vibes that Carnegie Hall is actually praised for because they gave me a microphone because I was doing a pop song. So I didn't hear, the amazing acoustics yet, but I will be doing a classical piece very, very soon. In December, I believe. So hopefully I'll be able to hear that then.
Why Kayla? We have this joke that we always say, based on, people would say James Brown or somebody else, hardest working man in show business. So we always go, Kayla, hardest working girl in show business, one of them. The people that I see that can get there, they are more driven than we are. They drive us harder than we drive them. They know where they want to go. They show up, they do the work, and they continue to do the work. Like anything important in life, there's always setbacks, failures, delays, all kinds of things, and you've got to be willing to go around those, go through them, go over them, under them, and keep that persistence going, and keep, you need like a 1,000,000-watt light bulb of drive, to get there. Because it's hard, it's not easy to do. We're trying to get to the cream of the crop. It's the top 5%, so it's a lot of hard work. We're interested in results here, and Kayla knows that also, and she's interested in results. And it's all of that hard work with the right program that we have here, that really helps someone get where they want to go.
Of the life that's inside her, growing stronger each day, till it finally reminds her.
Do you want to mute Tristan?
Yeah, but is he...
He's singing there as well. Should we start from the beginning?
Yeah, maybe we'll start from the beginning. I think it'll be good if it's actually, for what he's going to cut in and out of, any kind of singing is going to be great as long as you look great.
We don't communicate. I don't know how you feel. You just keep changing.
I do measure my success. I wouldn't say, it's a hard question because I wouldn't say that I measure my successes on the various things that I'm doing. I think that is how I feel as a musician as well. I'm very, very proud of how I'm singing and the work that I've spent doing it. And I think, and knowing that because I spent all that time that I got these various things. So maybe I measure my success on the amount of hours that I spent singing and practicing and thinking about it. But also I'm not done yet, and I still am not potentially where I exactly want to be, but I just want to reach people. And if someone that I don't know, that's not related to my family, goes, wow, I listened to your music and I really connected with that potentially I will be really, I'll feel like I got there. As a kid, I always assumed that I would just get there, that I would just make it. I'm this middle school, I started my contemporary journey and really getting serious into it when I was early middle school. I always assumed that when I grew up, I would just be on Broadway, that I would just kind of get there. And I didn't realize until this year, until last year, the year before, how much work I needed. I was always willing to do the work. I was always like, okay, this is great, I'm gonna do it. But I didn't realize how much work. And I think it took me a while to be like, this is gonna take a while. This is gonna take a lot of hours. This is gonna take a lot of frustration, but it's okay. And I don't exactly know where I'm gonna go from here, but I'm putting all of this work in, so I'm hoping that it will go. And so the unnerves of where you're going to go also took me a while. I'm just trying to just kind of figure it out, and it was very hard for a while to really say, okay, I don't really know where I'm going, but I'm gonna go somewhere, so I'm just gonna keep on working and go there.
I ain't got all day. Make up your mind. Tell me today. Let me know yes or no, 'cause I won't stay. You're playing mind games. That's the game that you play. I'm feeling